based on the feedback, what would you give yourself? Put that on the top right of the front. Keep that paper out.
What if you're not done?
Your graph, and then it'd probably like an NF/P. Because, I mean, if we did this, well, you were absent, so that's part of why you weren't done. But if you were here for both days of the test, you probably should have had enough time to get it done. So give yourself a grade. Write that down on your test. So, Raphael, you should be looking at your test right now, determining what grades you would get. And then on your graph paper, guys, we're getting to the point in the school year where you have to come into classes and do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you're going to feel like, oh, wait, no, hold on, you're going too fast. And no, we're not. You just didn't do what you were supposed to do when you had time to do it. So when you walk in and there are directions on the board, read and follow those directions. I hope you had a wonderful winter break, but we're back at it. Luckily, we only have 2 days to come back to it. And then we'll have a full week next week. And then we'll have a short week the following week. So it's okay. Don't worry. We only have like 1 5-day week next week. Then we got a short week. And on that short week, you don't even have to deal with me on that Tuesday. You get to have Mrs. Goldring here instead because I have a bunch of doctor's appointments that day. Addie. So mastery would be, did you fully show, not just in your brain, did you show true understanding of the work? How big were your mistakes? Now, you might not be able to determine that yet, but that's why we're going to go over the test together right now. So everybody look at question 1. Give me your eyes right now. Because if you don't do this, I'm going to tell you it's too bad, so sad. I did. Do it. There's no option. There's no choice of don't do this. As we go through this, if you got a question wrong, which is documented in my grade book, this was how I spent some of my break. Look, beautiful. It's my little documentation key. But you are going to do it correctly on your graph paper. You're not changing anything on the blue paper. You're not writing on it. You're not erasing on it. You're doing nothing on the blue paper. Go. So if you got any part of question 1 wrong, on your graph paper right now, you should be putting it on a number 1. Redoing the entire problem. You're not just writing down the answer. You're writing down the beginning, the process, and the answer. So what questions do we have from number 1? You have to do the distribution first. And this is the trapdoor that a lot of us fell into. I'm missing a chair. No, my normal chair disappeared over break. I'm going to have to track down where that went.
What does it look like? Is it a blue chair?
Get out of here. I put 2 chairs in here. Oh, you moved it over into her room.
Oh, no, it just isn't here.
Oh, it's because of a break. Actually, everything was moved over break, so we could clean the floor. So, guys, C was actually the easiest one here. B was probably the middle difficulty. A was the toughest. Guys, that's on purpose, to train you guys to skip anything you can't do what you can do, come back to what you can do. So when we distribute here in A, because you distribute first and you draw the arrows, we get 3x and 6, and then we can add the 7. If you have any mistakes, you are doing it right on your graph paper right now. That includes you. Would you like a pencil instead of a pen?
Yes.
I know I need what goes after a yes. That's not what. All right, well, if you don't know the word, I don't know where my pencils are.
So what's my mistake here? I can't add a...
You can either figure out how to have manners, or I'm not going to do anything extra for you.
Yep,
Sorry.
you're absolutely right.
Can you help remember that word starts with P? And it is not. Oh, there it is. Look at that. We have manners. Any questions on number 1? This is all recorded, so you'll be able to go back. You can hang on to that pen. I don't like pens. You can go back, watch the video, get back to the answers, look at how we did it. Any questions? Like you don't know why you got it wrong.
Can you go over A again?
Yeah. So Multiplication happens before addition. This is multiplication. So 3 has to multiply by x, and 3 has to multiply by 2. Remember, this is like 3 sets of x and 2. So if I have x and 2, x and 2, x and 2, I really have 3 x's and I really have 6. So 3 x's and 6, then 7 can add with the 6. That's where we get the 13. Just like what Alex just did. Any other questions? If you got it right, you don't need to notate anything on your graph paper. Like if your question was right on the original test, you don't have to do anything on the graph paper. 2, similar to 1, except now A is the easier one, and C is kind of a trap door in a way. What number is getting distributed in C? It's not 3. It's -3. Who goofed it up because you accidentally used +3 instead of -3? Yeah. Guys, remember that we don't call that minus. That's a -3. So if you want to rewrite this in a way that might make more sense to your brain, this is 9 plus -3 times x plus 2. That -3, -3x, -6, that's where this comes from, and where that comes from. Addie?
So on B, I got it right.
Sometimes I'm going too fast. Oh, it looked like there was a decimal or something in there. That's probably why I had that weird question mark. And now that things have been erased, it's a little hard for me to tell what was original, what was new. So like that might just be me questioning, like, hey, is there a decimal there or something? But if not, then yeah, you're fine. Or it might have been like addition instead of subtraction, or hard for me to always remember. But that's why it's a question mark. It's not an X, right? X is like, hey, this is wrong. Question mark really means like, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what you meant. Question?
No.
Oh, had me all excited. Any other questions? Number 2.
I think they're still right in a little bit.
So guys, I'm not going to be able to hang out on these slides long enough for you to redo everything. It's being recorded. If you really don't know how to do this, come to Math Lunch, come to AO, come to Extensions. You might need more help. And we're going to have a separate Progressing to Mastery. June?
Can you scroll up to the one we were just on?
One? No, we can't. I'm sorry. But like, there's no time today to go backwards. You can go back in the video. You can go. I might even just like scan and post this answer key. I don't know that it'll scan right because I did this. Like I wrote on both sides of it. But we just got to keep moving forward. If you need more help, come see me. Well, make sure that it makes sense, because if it doesn't make sense, you need to ask. And number 3, some of you started to catch on to this, and you like raised your hand and asked during the test, and you're like, wait, I'm getting all the same answers. Everything we get wrong, right? So at some point, we're going to have to go back and redo that. So that might turn into homework tonight if we don't do it now. You're letting yourself space out a little bit. Oh, wait, if there's work on the front, you might be okay.
Wait, what?
I couldn't see all of your work. You might need a new piece of graph paper soon.
Especially if you write big, you might need another one.
Guys, you cannot combine A's with B's, or X's with Y's, or X's with numbers.
That was the mistake.
We can only combine like terms that either have no variable or the same variable. X goes with X, but Y goes with Y. X does not go with Y. A goes with A, B goes with B. A does not go with B. P goes with P, Q goes with Q. Watch your P's and Q's. Questions about like terms. Watch out for those signs. See? Yeah. Let me ask you this first. What number is this?
17.
Nope. Negative 17Q. What number is this? negative 8q. Both of my q values are negative. They make negative 25q. That's the trap door, guys, is you looking at subtraction, which I've been trying to brainwash you all school year. Think of it as negative. So guys, I'm going to re-explain this because I think maybe I'm assuming you remember from last chapters and maybe you don't. What we're doing right now is step 1 of your correction process. Step 2 is actually going to be a follow-up assessment that I'll give you tomorrow. It's probably what we're going to do in class tomorrow and then to start the new chapter fresh on Monday. But you have to do this. If you made mistakes on your test, guys, this is more beneficial than doing it right the first time. I learned more by redoing a project than I did learning it the first time.
You go over D as well.
Yeah. What number is this?
Negative
17
17.
m. This is why it only has one underline. Look for another m. What number is this? Negative 8m. Then my n's.
What did you add the M and then add the N?
Separately, yes. So 32n, 5n, 37n.
So 37 and then
Negative 25. Yeah, they keep kind of coming out to be the same coefficient values. Yeah, did you see that? Negative 25, 37, negative 25, 37, negative 20. It's, yeah. Yeah, math is sometimes, guys, math is a creative thing. We can do, fun, creative stuff with it. Make these little patterns and whatnot. All right, moving on. Cost per tulip. If you got this wrong, guys, you might need to write this down. Cost per tulip is telling you to take the dollars divided by the number of flowers. Not the other way around. So when you go to set up your math, it needs to be dollars divided by tulips. Dollars divided by tulips. They're pretty close in price. But I'm a cheapskate. I'm going to find the cheaper shop. I'm going to go buy my dozen there. If you used 58 cents, $6.96, up to $6.96 would have been acceptable. If you used 57 cents, though, you would have gotten $6.84. Questions on cost per tulip, which was right here, guys. And I had it on your test. That per tells you to divide. The order of the words tells you the order. Questions? Per means divide. If you're being asked for something per, it means divide. If you're being given something per, then you might need to multiply. If I tell you 2 cookies per kid, how many cookies do we need? Then we'd be multiplying. Questions on this one? Don't ask why I need to get my wife flowers. I'm in trouble. Feet per hour. Miss Howard's snails. Now, luckily, lightning is already done for us.
Yeah.
Right? Lightning's good. Feet per hour, sweet. Zippy gave us inches and minutes. Who can tell me how I got from what they gave me to what I wrote right here? Gabe?
You multiplied by 2.
Yeah, I doubled everything. Why did we multiply by 2, Gabe?
Because 30 minutes, well, there's 60 minutes in an hour.
Yeah, you need to talk about an hour. So the first thing Gabe did, he said, if I double, I can get to an hour by getting to 60 minutes. Now, how far is 252 inches? Well, what do we do to turn inches into feet?
Divide by 12.
Divide by 12. So we divide by 12 and get 21 feet per hour for Zippy. And Old May, guys, be careful. Basing off of people's names, Old May is actually our fastest snail here. What do I need to do to 10 minutes to get it to an hour?
Multiply by 6.
Multiply by 6. So that's what we do right here. Multiply by 6. and then we're at our answer. Set up proportions. A fraction equal to a fraction.
And
It's like the best way to solve problems like this, guys. Any questions about our snails?
Old May should be named Sippy.
Well, Old May, that's on purpose probably maybe. When people go to place bets or whatever, you know, like now sports betting is legal in Ohio, so now I can start talking about sports betting when we talk about probability. Well, it's really tough, guys. Sports betting is really tough because it's hard to predict sports. It's actually easier to predict the casino. You're going to lose. That's like the prediction of the casinos. You're probably going to lose. Yeah, like all of the games. Guys, my father-in-law went to the casino on New Year's Eve. Guess what he did? He lost money. He knew that was going to happen. He would have been excited if he won, but he didn't, because guess what? It's rigged against you. And by rigged, I mean it's math. Yes, there's a typo here. Mr. Combs's.
Yeah, and I found that.
Mr. Combs's noticed that his car used 18 gallons of gas to go 468 miles. Now, this does not ask for a unit rate. What it asks us to do is take our 468 and make it 754 if we don't know how to multiply or what to multiply. What do? If we don't know what to multiply, we divide backwards. So guys, if you do 754 divided by 468, that's weird, so I would definitely use a calculator.
Yeah, calculus.
By the way, if you're missing a calculator, I have a lost and found calculator. You got to come and describe it to me. My calculator's dead, thanks to break. I'm going to need to plug this in. Guys, this is gross. It's 1.61111, like it repeats forever. But if you just leave it in your calculator and hit times 18, it comes out to be a perfect 29. So if you leave it in your calculator, because on the tough math we're going to use our calculator, you get 29. Any questions? Now some of you did really cool stuff. You took it down to the unit rate first, and then you multiplied up. It gets a little tricky with decimals, though. Yeah.
How'd you get the gallons?
I followed what the top told me to do. So I did the math on the top to figure out this 1.611 forever. I did the division on the top. And that told me that's what I need to multiply by. If, because you were absent or whatever, you have questions that aren't done, you need to do those on your graph paper. Not on the blue paper, on your graph paper.
So you divided the top by the other.
Because we didn't know what to multiply, so we divided to figure that out.
And then it gave you the number that you need to multiply
Yep.
by.
Because if you don't know what to multiply, you divide backwards. Other questions? Mrs. Pettigrew, I'm sorry about making you hungry. Some of you did Zoom baking with Mrs. Pettigrew. Mrs. Pettigrew can make 4 cupcakes in 15 minutes. What do I need to do to 15 minutes to turn it into an hour? Times 4, right? 15 minutes is a fourth of an hour. And then, so that gives me my answer for A. But then I can get to my answer for B by taking my 1 hour and doing times 5. Guys, my fear, because I've been here before, my fear is that for a couple of you, we'll be working on this on Discovery Day number 3. You're going to not do it right now. You're going to put it off, and it's going to sit in map until Discovery Day number 3. I really hope I'm wrong, but I've been here before, like 10 years, and I see some of you. Like, I can see you, right? I'm worried. But if you choose not to do this, that's your choice. Natural consequences will happen. Questions? Number 8. True story. Because I checked with Mom about when did Brad start delivering papers. In 1995, I know, y'all weren't alive. Brad could deliver 180 papers in 3 hours on his Huffy mountain bike, in case anyone cares to know. How long would it take Brad to deliver 120? Well, we could either break it down to the 1 hour. So a lot of us just figured out the 1 hour first, and then figured out, oh, well, that means that in 2 hours. Or there's some other ways that we could solve this. But again, proportions.
I like how it's like, I put down the unit rate for mine.
Yeah, 60.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a nice unit rate, right?
It's
That
like-
really means how many papers a minute.
Yeah, one paper.
One paper every minute. Which, think about it. Like, I'm on my bike, throw the paper up to the front porch, bike to the next house, throw the paper, like, that, a minute is actually kind of a long time. Now, Coshocton's houses were a bit more spread out than Columbus over here where you guys live. Y'all are pretty much, like, on top of each other. In Coshocton, everyone's got, like, half an acre, an acre. Like, we're a bit more spread out, but our neighborhoods here are pretty tight. Well, I got, depending on where in Worthington, some of Worthington's more spread out. Like, if you go to the ravines or different places. That's where I did. All right, so 8 was 2 hours. I'm not even listening to you, Spotify. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, next slide.
Someone's hacking.
It's the ghost.
So, one of my hobbies to try to stay healthy is going on bike rides. So if I'm planning out a ride, and Columbus has actual bike maps, right? If I'm planning out a ride, and 6 miles is 1 inch on the map, how far will 27 miles actually measure? Well, if we don't know how to multiply or what to multiply by, how do I figure it out? Guys, every single one of you should be able to answer this. So I don't even need any of you to answer, because like I see Lindy's hand and I know that she would give me the right answer. Everyone look up here. Every set of eyes. If right now, every set of eyes. If right now I ask you if we don't know how to multiply and you can't finish my sentence, that's a bad thing. I've just decided, like, a couple years ago, I probably would have tried to sugarcoat that and like not make you feel bad. I don't care anymore. If you've not been engaging in the practice that we've been doing and you don't know what to do in a situation like this, figure yourself out and make a change. It is 2023. You are in charge of your life. We've done this probably 1,000 times this year. That's probably not an exaggeration. Because every single day I find myself saying this over and over and over again. If we do not know what to multiply by, we divide backwards. So we do 27 divided by 6. This number that's really hard to read right there is 4.5. That 4.5 comes from the division. Then it tells us do that on the bottom. You need to be honest with yourself when you give your grade, because we're going to turn these back in like here in like 15 minutes. When you give your grade on the front, for real, do you know what you're doing or not? Lying to yourself won't do you any good. Alex?
With the 4.5, do we divide 6 by 4.5, or what is it 6 divided by 27?
Neither. We're trying to go from the 6 to the what? To the 27. This 4.5 does not exist. We're trying to go here. We don't know how. So what I do to figure that out is I grab my calculator. I'm going to have to get another one because I just plugged that one in. I said, I don't know what this multiplier is. How do I determine a multiplier? Divide. So 27 divided by 6 gets 4.5. That tells me to make this arrow, to make this jump, we're multiplying by 4.5. And you got to think about this, guys. It's times 4 and a half. So we know we're getting bigger, right? Times 4 for sure gets bigger. I think this calculator might be dead, because I left it to charge all break.
You can use mine.
No, like these yellow ones eventually sometimes totally just bite the bullet.
I never knew calculators needed.
Same work. The same thing, guys. Guess what's going to be on your progressing to mastery? The same stuff. Just like different problems, different made-up stuff. Miss Austin, you actually a Trainiac?
That looks like a no.
So this was made up. I was going to put a picture of Thomas the Tank Engine like hidden in your room somewhere. So if this were true, 42 feet is 6 inches. Set up a proportion. Then that actually simplifies down to 7 feet for every inch. So if I have a train that is 1 inch, it's actually 7 feet. That'd be a very small train, right? If I have a train that's 3 inches, it's actually 21, right? I can do that math. So it's 7 feet for every inch. 7 feet for every inch. So then, now that we know that, if the real thing is 182 feet, how many inches would it be? Again, if we don't know what to multiply, what do? Divide. If you don't know what to multiply, you divide,
Backwards.
and then you use that on the bottom. With me, Rafael? You just probably got this one right. Questions? This one most of us got right because it's kind of visual. It's a bit easier for our brain to make sense of because we can see it. Scale factor here is 4. Right? Or 1/4. Some of you said 1/4. I let that slide. Even though we said we were enlarging. Technically, if we were enlarging, we should be using a scale factor bigger than 1. But we let that slide. Alright, now I'm perplexed. I think I left my water in my car. I mean, coffee's more important than water, right?
Wait, is that it?
Is what it.
Water's probably better.
What about
This, no, it's coffee. I think it's in my
Wait,
car.
what's that?
You are correct. There's no coffee without water.
Can you make coffee with milk?
Yeah.
I definitely
That's what I
do.
do. That's what
I mean, I guess you can, but I think it would, I don't drink milk because like my stomach can't
I've just never
do,
really
so I
liked
wouldn't.
milk.
I wouldn't.
I just don't like
I don't like to see no
I mean, I put creamer in my coffee, but that's not even real cream. It's like the fake creamer stuff. Dairy is actually not. Our bodies don't need dairy as we get older. Humans are actually the only creatures that continue to drink milk past like being a baby. So interesting fun fact. Again,
Ow.
the same
Jeez, man.
work. The same
My
work.
ear.
It's all the same. It's the same stuff over and over again.
Oh, my
Is that
ears.
question?
My
Yes.
ears died. My ears
I have a question. So why do you record these when, like, you realize that more than there are different people other than the people who are in Phoenix that
Yeah.
watch?
There's very few people outside of Phoenix that watch these, and the purpose of recording them is for you all. I don't care about them.
Dang.
You just
Yep.
roasted them.
I don't. Oh, my webcam's. It's not even recording the webcam. I gotta switch my stuff back over because my computer defaults to
You're
weird
gonna have
things.
to keep that out when you post these videos.
What? That I don't care about them? That I don't care about other people? That I don't care about
They're
strangers?
just being curious, Rob.
I don't think I need to bleep that out. I don't think those strangers care about me either.
I
If you don't know how to multiply, divide it, but actually here it tells you what to do. Here we're told take your 1 inch, turn it into 3.75 so you know what to multiply by. So you do that on top, get your 30.
Yay.
You do 13.
I will right now. Explain the difference between x squared and 2x. Obviously, I did not write anything here because this is my answer key. 2x is referencing our x's, which we talked about, are just a rectangle that we don't know how long it is. So you could have said something like that for x, that x is actually a rectangle. It's 1 by x, don't know how long it is. Whereas x squared, we still don't know how big it is, but x squared is our square that is actually x by x. Mario?
Sure.
Fine. What?
Why are you not infinity?
Can it what?
Could X be?
No, because infinity is not actually a number; it's an idea.
How is it in an idea?
Because numbers, you have to go to count to numbers. Like I can get to 8,754 by counting. I cannot get to infinity.
But wait, what number?
This is not that class. The class you guys are looking for is like theory of math or math
connections?
arguments or like math connections. Yeah, this is not that class. We're going to keep moving on.
After doing a cillian.
All right, 14. Guys, this is what I meant, and I tried very hard to show you like an example back when we took the class. Length times width. In parentheses, length, width, length, width. Then do the multiplication. Figure out the area. Well, that's actually easier because you could just count.
Wait, what's the question?
8 x's, 12 ones.
Just do it,
Wait,
man.
Yeah, like Nike said.
Mr. Hudson.
Now, if Nike wants to sponsor me, I'll take that. Gabe?
I got a question. So, like, on my paper, you said. I got
What?
So, on my paper, I try to figure out what this means.
You only gave me the one form. Read the directions. You're supposed to give me 2 different forms. That's why I said and I gave you a little setup for what you were missing. Because you forgot to give me the other form.
Ow.
And perimeter. Or wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Label the sides to indicate how you found the total area. So label. That's what I was looking for here, is that you actually had labels around the shape. And perimeter 4x plus 14. You don't have to have all this written out, but I did to make sense of it. Because if you look at the shape, we have 2 sides that are 2x plus 3 and 2 sides that are 4. So you could do the math like that, or you could just kind of take a walk. Questions? Unless you need more time for your revisions, this should be back in my bin before you leave my room. Otherwise, you're saying you need more time to do stuff on your graph paper, but guys, we have 5 minutes right now. So if you are done with whatever revisions you needed to make, you can just go ahead. Where's this graph paper go, front or back? Front. Graph paper goes on front. Hold on, Addie. Do it on the graph paper. Right? So like if you didn't do it the first. Let me come back. I'm confused at what you're saying. That you didn't get to do it the first time. Yeah, so these had question marks. You didn't do them. I'm asking you, like, did you not do them the first time? Is that what you mean? Or why are these question marks here? So I bet these question
I
marks.
didn't calculate for.
I'm still on 14. Hold up! I got too excited. We need to check 15 as well.
Yes. Please.
Like, Addie was trying to say that, just said it weirdly. 15, there's your answers for that. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Or 4x, and 4x plus 6. Remember, you should not be writing on your blue paper right now. I'm not looking at your blue paper. I'm only looking at your graph paper when you turn this back in. I'm only looking at your graph paper when you turn this back in. They should be stapled, though, please. Stapled, please. Stapler's back there. I'll put my stapler up here, too. Hey. I mean, I will give it back to you guys tomorrow. So, hold up. Everybody stop moving. Put your hands on your head. We'll be silly for a second. We'll wait, Donna.
Hands on the head.
Your revisions should be done before you turn this back in. The graph paper should be... So do not turn it in right now if you need more time to fix stuff. Now everyone put your arms here and flap like a chicken.
Yeah.
No? Okay. We're in here till 55, so you got about 3 more minutes left.
Got some time to work if you need it.
Ow, my face.
Did you do the